Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Right, okay, so yesterday I made a video about the CSL pedals load kit, specifically this one on screen now, the refurbished. Now the refurbished bit doesn't really come into it. This applies to whether or not you buy a brand new one or you buy a refurbished one, or even if you buy one, say, off of eBay or a third party seller. But I'm coming at this from a person that has never ever used load cell before, so I've always been used to the movement one, the potentiometer one. So the standard one you get with the CSL with the foam block, that's all based on the travel of the pedal. Now coming to a load cell, the main reason I wanted to get this was to get better at trail braking. What I didn't realise was how hard it was to push or how lack of movement there is actually in the pedal. Now obviously I knew it was going to be hard. You get various weights. The CSL is a 60 kilogram pedal, so that's how much force is needed to press it fully. I mean, these are totally adjustable, so you can adjust it so you've got less pressure to get to 100%, or you can have it maxed out to apply the full 60 kilograms of force to get there. But what I didn't realise is how much I got affected by the lack of travel. And obviously driving a car, you're used to travelling the brake pedal, and running racing sim, like the Logitech and like the CSL, like I said, that don't have load cell pedals, you're used to travel. And it's got me thinking, is this the norm? Because I've always been led to believe that load cell is the superior pedal, and it's rock hard, and that's the way it is. No questions, don't bother asking any questions. But I was thinking, well, hold on, this can't be the way. Like, I've seen that you can get mods for these. You can get springs and stuff like that to put on these pedals. So I started doing a bit of research online to find out the real world application, because obviously this isn't real world, but you're trying to get as close to real world as possible. Now I'm not talking about the pressure or anything like that, the load cell part of it, but I'm talking about the movement part of it. So let me bring this up. So there's a YouTuber called Random Call Sign, great YouTuber, but he did do a video a couple of years ago about brake pedal and travel on various different disciplines, so Formula and different GT cars and stuff like that. So I started watching it, and yeah, it confirmed my suspicion that there isn't one way of setting up travel, and it has to be rock hard, and that's the way it is. It's not. It's driver preference. It's what you want. So let me bring this up. So here we've got a clip here. This is Lando Norris in the McLaren a couple of years ago. So obviously this is the accelerator, and this is the brake pedal. Now this is at Silverstone, so he's coming into a corner here. But if we keep an eye on this bit here, you'll see, if I was to brake on my current pedals, I don't feel any movement. But if I play this, so we're watching here, it should come up in a minute. Right, look at that movement. Now can I bring it back a sec? Look how much movement there is in that. I will put up a little thingy somewhere on screen of my movement on my load cell. Now there is movement there, but I don't really feel it. Now we've got another bit coming up here. Here we go. So look, if you're looking up here, this is like a GT car. So you're looking, that's his pedal. Look how much movement he had. These are professional race drivers. There's so much movement that they're doing. Another one here. Look at that. So he's doing heel and toe, but you're getting just as much movement in that as you are. Thank you, Random Call Sign. In that, than you are like a normal car. So it is user preference. But the main reason I'm making this video is that buying this pedal, I think pretty early on you need to decide what kind of driver do you want to be in your sim rig. Do you want that rock hard feeling, and then it is literally just on pressure, or do you want a bit of movement? I mean, obviously this is all still based on pressure, but do you want some movement and then it firms up? So what else I've got here? So obviously that's the pedal that I've got. If I go to the next shot here, that is the setup in there. So you've got the spacers in between, and then all of these are the elastomers. So that's what gives you, the springy back or the force, whatever like that. But if you've looked on eBay and anything like that, you can buy things like this, little springs, and that takes out the hardness of these elastomers. So if you go this shot here, this is a perfect example. So you've got your elastomers at the top, and then you've got the spring on the bottom. So the spring allows the pedal to move somewhat, but then you've also got the elastomers, you know, for that resistance that you need for the load cell. So I'm thinking I've only had it for one day, and at the moment I've got my brake pressure set to 45% on a 60 kg pedal, which is what? So that's just under 30%, isn't it? Like 28, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. But that's like 50% of the pressure that the load cell can do. Now, obviously, these load cell pedals they go up into 90s or 120s, like maximums to that. So, but my point is, this is actually now. This isn't saying that, you know, this is the way it is and that's how it's supposed to be. It's how you are as a driver and how you like to drive. Now, if you like travel, unfortunately, this setup is not going to give you any travel whatsoever unless you've got a leg like Thor. You're not going to get it to move, or you're not going to feel it to move. Like I said, I'll be putting up a picture of me driving, and like I say, you can see a bit of movement there, but I can't feel it personally. I'm racing on pressure. But if you want a bit of movement, which I think is what I do as well, we're not talking about much, but a bit. I think you need to consider, once you've ordered this load cell pedal, get one of these springs as well. They're only, I'm not going to take you to any places, but you can find them on eBay, Etsy, places like that, and they're like between 5, 10, 15, depending on if you buy a single one or if you buy a pack. It's up to you. You could go like this route by removing the elastomers altogether. I mean, it's still a pressure sensor. You're not changing anything like that. It's just adjusting how you like that pedal to move. So for me, I do like the elastomer. I do like that. You know, it's simulating hydraulic fluid as you're pressing it. But even with a normal pedal, you press it, there is movement, and then, you know, once that pressure builds up within the hydraulic fluid, that then gets harder and harder to press, and that is exactly what these do. So if this spring can introduce initial movement and then the pressure increases, I think that's going to be a good way to go, especially for me anyway. So yes, I just thought I wanted to make this video now while I'm so fresh with using the load cell pedal. Like I said, I've come from a perspective where I've never used load cell pedals before. I've only ever used potentiometers, so distance based pedals, and they've always been like, I've put springs on it to try and make it stiffer, but it's still based on travel. You're not going to get away from that. So yeah, so I thought I wanted to make this for you guys, so something for you guys to think about, that if you are going to go down this route, and like me, you're coming from someone with box standard pedals and you're going to load cell for the first time, just be aware that this sort of setup, the pedal does not move, and it is all based on pressure. And if you do like a bit of movement, I would highly recommend at least looking into something like this and then seeing if you like that. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to order one of these little, I think this blue one is like one of the lightest springs, and then you can go up in weight. I don't know why you'd want to go heavy. I mean, if you like a little bit of movement, fine, but then I don't know. But this blue one seems to be, from what I've seen online, gives a good amount of movement. If you really want, you could even put 2 of these blue springs in it, and then you're going to get a load of movement. But the good thing about it is you can adjust the pressures in the software and on the wheel to make sure that you're still, because the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to compress these springs so they're compacted to full amount and you're not getting to 100%. You don't want that to happen. But you can tune it in the software. Alright guys, so I think that'll do it. I just wanted to make that, you know, just to make you guys aware that I know there's a guy, Andy, in the chat, so thank you for commenting, that he was thinking about going load cell, but you know, he doesn't want to break his leg every time he puts his foot on the accelerator, on the gas, on the brake, which I totally understand. I'm exactly the same. I mean, you can tune that out in the software, that you put a little pressure, but the problem with that is there's still no movement in the pedal, and if you like movement in the pedal, you need to get these springs set up, I think, and for the sake of between 5 and 15 quid, it might be a worthwhile investment. Like I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it out, and I'll let you guys know how it is. But I just wanted to let you guys know that if you did want to get one of these pedals, and you do like movement in a pedal, then you seriously consider going this spring route. Okay, cool. All right, that is for this little short video information thing, just to let you guys know. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Okay guys.